For the last 12 years, the Scanlon-Mapping Social Cohesion surveys have been tracking Australian public opinion on social cohesion, immigration and population issues. During this time, Australia's population has grown by more than 5 million people. Our population is becoming increasingly diverse, but this is a slow, long-term change. 72% of the population is Australian-born, with 21% having one or both parents born overseas. Among migrants, traditional source countries, including England and New Zealand, are among the top ranked. 28% of Australians were born overseas, and around 2 million people identify with faith groups other than Christian. So how are our changing demographics impacting our social cohesion over time? And what do the 2019 Mapping Social Cohesion survey results tell us about the current national mood? Let's take a look at 5 key findings from this year's report. Over the last year, much public discussion and news commentary has focused on problems and pointed to a deterioration of the quality of life in Australia. Headlines have warned that we're heading into recession, that democracy is failing. But in contrast with this negative outlook, the 2019 Mapping Social Cohesion survey results find evidence of stability. In 2019, 88% of people in Australia believed maintaining the Australian way of life and culture was important, and the majority were optimistic about Australia's future. 58% believe the system of government we have in Australia works fine as is, or needs minor change. The proportion of the view that Australia's immigration intake is too high declined marginally in 2019 and remained a minority viewpoint. And 68% agreed that accepting migrants from many different countries makes Australia stronger. So what's new in 2019, and in what areas have opinions shifted? When asked to nominate the most important problem facing Australia today, from 15 different problems identified, the economy has ranked as the top issue every year since 2007, including in 2019. But one issue moved significantly in the ranking this year, to a clear second place. Concern over the environment and climate change recorded the equal largest annual increase for any issue since surveys began, nominated by just 10% last year, but 19% in 2019. On the contrary, quality of government and political leadership, a consistently prominent issue since 2010, was less of a concern this year. New questions on globalisation and international affairs reveal that, from a list of 4 countries, China is seen as our most important economic partner. But only 28% believe that China would do the right thing regarding Australia's economic interests. While questions on sense of belonging and happiness continue to obtain positive responses from large majorities, less people are reporting strongly held positive views than they were 12 years ago. Since 2007, the cohort who feel a sense of belonging in Australia to a great extent has decreased from 77% to 63%, with more people now reporting a belonging to a moderate extent. Similarly, the proportion who identify as very happy has declined. This close analysis brings to attention potentially important shifts in opinion that will need to be considered in future surveys. Results from the interviewer-administered telephone survey compared to the self-completed online version find little or no difference in opinion when it comes to the size of the immigration intake, negative views of globalisation, and in the level of agreement that multiculturalism has been good for Australia. But there are significant differences across survey modes when it comes to attitudes to some minority, ethnic or religious groups, and the impact of immigration on quality of life. Analysis of population segments highlights how attitudes vary across the community. With regard to Australia's future, for example, a higher degree of pessimism is indicated by key demographic segments, including Greens and One Nation voters, those struggling to pay bills or poor, residents of Queensland, and younger Australians. During a period of sustained population growth and international political uncertainty, the Scanlon Mapping Social Cohesion surveys continue to provide a critical reference point for understanding patterns and extent of change in public opinion. Download the full report at scanloninstitute.org.au or join the conversation at #SocialCohesionReport.